What is truthy and falsy? How is it different from true and false? I just learned there are truthy and falsy values in Python which are different from the normal true and false. Can someone please explain in depth what truthy and falsy values are? Where should I use them? What is the difference between truthy and true values and falsy and false values?
We use truthy and falsy to differentiate from the bool values true and false. A truthy value will satisfy the check performed by if or while statements. As explained in the documentation, all values are considered truthy except for the following, which are falsy. None, false, numbers that are numerically equal to 0, including 0, 0.0, 0j, decimal 0, fraction 0, 1. Empty sequences and collections, including comma an empty list, an empty dict, comma an empty tuple, set, an empty set. An empty str, b, an empty bytes, byte array b, an empty byte array, memory view b, an empty memory view, an empty range, like range 0. Objects for which obj._bool_ returns false, obj._len_ returns 0, given that obj._bool_ is undefined.
As the comments describe, it just refers to values which are evaluated to true or false. For instance, to see if a list is not empty, instead of checking like this, you can simply do this. This is because some values, such as empty lists, are considered false when evaluated for a Boolean value. Non-empty lists are true. Similarly for the integer 0, the empty string, and so on, for false, and non-zero integers, non-empty strings, and so on, for true. The idea of terms like truthy and falsy simply refer to those values which are considered true in cases like those described above, and those which are considered false. For example, an empty list is considered falsy, and a non-empty list, for example, 1, is considered truthy. See also this section of the documentation.
Python determines the truthiness by applying bool to the type, which returns true or false, which is used in an expression like if or while. Here is an example for a custom class vector2 dond its instance returning false when the magnitude, length of a vector, is 0, otherwise true. Note, if we wouldn't have defined _bool_, it would always return true, as instances of a user-defined class are considered truthy by default. Example from the book, Fluent in Python, Clear, Concise and Effective Programming. Truthy values refer to the objects used in a Boolean context and not so much the Boolean value that returns true or false. Take these as an example.
Where should you use truthy or falsy values? These are syntactic sugar, so you can always avoid them, but using them can make your code more readable and make you more efficient. Moreover, you will find them in many code examples, whether in Python or not, because it is considered good practice. As mentioned in the other answers, you can use them in if tests and while loops. Here are two other examples in Python 3 with default values combined with or, s being a string variable. You will extend to similar situations as well. Without truthy, with truthy it is more concise. In Python 3.8, we can take advantage of the assignment expression column equals. Without truthy, with truthy it is shorter too. or even shorter. Without the assignment expression, one can do, but not shorter. Some people find the s equals ... line unsatisfactory, because it corresponds to. Nevertheless, you can adhere to this coding style if you feel comfortable with it.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.